Welcome back to Stauffer Garage, guys. Today's detail is of an '09 Kia four-door sedan, Scepter, Spectre, something like that. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. It doesn't actually have any badging on it, but I know it's a four-door Kia. But this one is another smoker's car. It does have cigarette ash inside of it all over. The windows are all gunked up from all that secondhand smoke. It literally just needs a full clean on the inside. We need to do some extraction on the floors and the seats. The good news is the headliner actually looks pretty good, and so do the seat belts. But as you guys can see from these before shots, that there is a lot of trash all over the ground. This thing needs to be completely cleaned out. We're probably going to pull up the seats too to make sure we can get anything out from underneath those, all that cigarette ash out. But if you guys are new and you like these sort of videos, hit the subscribe button below. And if you guys are already subscribed, go ahead and make sure you have notifications turned on, because not only do you guys get to know when new videos come out, but you guys help me support my channel and make all these videos possible. So make sure you guys do that below. And then for this one, because these before shots, I'm going to go ahead and give this car the hashtag do the do. Because not only do we need to get the dew out of the car and get all that crap out, but Mountain Dew is actually pretty good. Not the best for you, but it's pretty tasty. Hashtag do the do in the comments below. But let's go ahead and let's get this car looking brand new again. So for the first step, guys, what we're going to do is get everything yanked out of the car. So all of the trash, all of the pillows and coats, and any of the stuff that I feel is not trash that the owner might want, I put into a separate bin. Put all of that in the trunk, and then I have another bin that is just for trash. That way when I get all that stuff out, it kind of keeps it all separate, but it gives me a big container to kind of contain all that stuff, because in cars like this, I don't know why, but a lot of times owners don't clear their stuff out of cars when they get their car detailed. And to be honest, you know what? It's not the end of the world. It just adds an extra step for us. But let's get everything yanked out of the car, get all those cup holders, get all those door panels, get everything out of the car itself, so that way we can get a good idea of what the floors look like and how much work we have to do on the extraction side. So now that everything's out of the car, I think it's time to get the seats out as well. We're going to go ahead and pull the seats. That way I can see how much trash is underneath those, if the extraction needs to carry underneath the seats as well. But it also gives us a lot more working room. And if you're working in a smaller car like a sedan or a coupe or something like that, that doesn't have, you know, like a large SUV even, it just gives you that much more extra space to operate and move around inside your car. I know there's people that talk about, you know, airbags and everything else, but for your typical car, as long as you disconnect your battery, disconnect the clips and the harnesses underneath, and get the seats out, you will not have an issue. Now that we've got the seats out, we've gotten all the trash out of the car, I'm going to go ahead and start the vacuuming process, get the shop vac busted out, get everything off the surface as much as I can. I'm going to be using my bristle brush to kind of move the carpet fibers around, because what it also does is not only does it help move dirt out, but it creates a little bit of a static charge, and with it being colder and drier out like it is right now, it helps get that static charge generated, which lifts the dirt to the surface, making it much more efficient when you vacuum.
The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh, back my life inside a car, hit the button, drive real far, put that record on me.
And when I'm editing these videos and I go back and I see the transition and these sped up clips of the vacuuming, it's so cool to see the progress that just vacuuming the carpet makes. It really does make a huge difference just getting the carpets cleaned. And when you pull out those seats, it's crazy how much stuff actually accumulates underneath there that you would miss otherwise. So now that the floors are done vacuuming, I'm going to go ahead and vacuum the cloth seats in the back as well as the front seats later on. But the reason for doing that is there's actually a lot of dust and everything else that collects on the surface that as you vacuum, you can definitely tell a difference if you haven't done it in a long time, how much dirt that you can actually get off the seats.
You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You lay awake alone at night. Oh, like your life inside a car.
One tip when you're doing your seats and you have the different seams and creases where the fabrics come together, kind of stretch and pull them apart as you're vacuuming, and you'll be surprised at how much dirt you can actually find in between those cracks that you would otherwise not be able to get.
Reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high.
With the front seats out of the car, it made it so much easier to vacuum, and then I'm putting them on top of my work table, and I have my pump sprayer, and I'm using my fabric cleaner that is diluted 20:1, and then I'm going to go ahead and spray the entire cloth seat fabric with the cleaner and letting it soak in for about 5 to 10 minutes before I get working on it with the extractor and the carpet brush. Having the seat out of the car, you can definitely tell from these shots how beneficial it is, because you're not like playing Twister inside the car and doing all these weird like contortionist movements. Everything's right in front of you. You're not going to kill your back before the end of it. It does make it 10 times easier to see stains, especially in a natural light.
I've been feeling down.
Now these seats weren't super dirty, but I was still able to extract a ton of dirt out of them that you guys can see here when I pour all the bad water into the bucket. And please excuse my voice. I'm still trying to get over being sick and my throat is just literally killing me right now. But I wanted to get this voiceover done for you guys so you guys can have a new video this Saturday.
We're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body go. Just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
Now I usually get asked what type of carpet cleaning solution I use, and there's several different types that I typically use, and I haven't found one that works better than the others. They all pretty much kind of work the same. So, there's 303 fabric conventional cleaner that they have. There's LA's Totally Awesome. There's Chemical Guys Fabric Clean. There's Full X. There's just general fabric or carpet cleaning solutions that you can get at any hardware store. They all have their advantages. Some have odor eliminators. Some have extra bells and whistles that they talk about. It's kind of one of those things that you just got to test out yourself, figure out what you like using the most, and then stick with it.
We still got a few more days to slay. It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go. Just let your body
Now in my sprayer I mentioned I have my cleaning solution, but in my extractor I'm just using plain hot water. And I'm doing that because I want to try to get all of that cleaner solution out of the fabric itself, and it makes it easier to see what I'm actually extracting from the seats.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words you remember.
And if you're interested in any of the products that I use within any of my videos, I always list them in the description box below if you guys want to check them out.
I've been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself.
Now that the front seats are done being extracted, I'm moving to the interior carpet, and to be honest, the driver's side was probably the worst side of all, and I went ahead and sprayed both the passenger driver side and the rear carpets and let them soak while I was working on one at a time.
I've been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand.
I personally think my favorite part of any detail that I do, especially these really dirty ones, is the drill brush. I think it's probably the most fun, to be honest, for me. If you guys like the drill brush or the extractor portion, or if you like watching all the panels getting clean and protected, let me know in the comments below what is your favorite part of my details.
So busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself. I've been keeping myself so busy.
Now for the rear seats, they didn't need a full extraction done to them. So what I did is I did some spot cleaning for you guys, where I just showed you what an all-purpose cleaner on a specific stain spot, a soft bristle brush, and a microfiber towel can do to remove stains. This method you guys can use yourself on any of your details, and if you really want to try something different, pick up a bottle of Full-X. It actually does an incredible job at just being a spot stain remover, and you'll be really surprised with the results. Now that all the fabric's been done, I did all that first, and despite that I'm probably going to get some dirt on the carpets as well when I'm doing the dashboard and everything else, I did those up front because I know that I'm going to have those cloth seats dried out before the owner gets the car back, and that's why I try to do them up front. But now we're moving to the panels and the interior trim, and I'm using my all-purpose cleaner, my bristle brush, to clean all the panels, clean all that dirt and grime out all those cracks and crevices, and I'm also using it on the fabric door inserts, my bristle brush to agitate it, and then using a microfiber towel to wipe it clean. This removes any staining or any surface grease that's on those from arms and everything else touching them, and then I'm using Chemical Guys Silk and Shine to coat and protect all the plastic interior panels. And when it comes to cleaning windows, I always use invisible glass, and I use 2 microfiber towels, one to actually buff and clean, and then a second one to dry and make sure there's no streaks left over. And if you guys are interested in picking up the bristle brushes that you guys see that I use in my videos, those gray and red ones, I have a huge announcement coming out next week that you guys need to be ready for. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you have notifications on so that way you see those. And also follow me on Instagram at Stauffer Garage because I'll be announcing on there as well where you guys can pick those up. Now for the center console, all the little bits and pieces and the center dashboard with the radio and the climate control, I don't spray a ton of fluid as it looks in this video. I'm just spraying it far enough away that it lightly missed the entire surface. That way I don't have to apply any more additional liquid onto that surface, and my brush can take care of getting all the dirt lifted and out of those different corners and cracks, and using my clean microfiber towel to wipe it clean.
Times it hurts to admit that we're no different. I find it hard to commit.
This center console area, this is kind of where you would typically miss a lot of these spots because seats are in the way from getting into all of those different parts there. But with the seats out of the car, it makes it a lot easier to see how much coffee and crap gets spilt down there, and that way you can get it completely cleaned.
Charming to me, I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale. You don't need a killer, pregnant for me. Ooh, I don't need no fairy tale.
Now for the door kick panels, I follow the same process. I'm just using my all-purpose cleaner and the Chemical Guys Silk Shine as a top coat.
We run and go still every time. Whatever it is, I keep on trying. 'Cause it ain't hard to forgive when you know what it's like. That's why I'm better with than without you. Oh, I'm on it, I want it.
One thing on your windows, make sure you only roll them up halfway to get that top piece that goes into the door jambs itself. Get that first before you clean the rest of the window. That way when you roll your window down later on and you're driving down the road, you don't have a bunch of dirt at the top of it that you missed. Now that the entire interior is clean, I go through the entire car with a second vacuuming, and this is just to pick up any dirt and debris that was carried over on my socks or came off the dashboard. It's just a nice thing to do at the very end after you put the seats back in to make sure you have the carpets completely cleaned. Now when I put the seats back in, I always try to put Loctite on the bolts. Even though I'm using a torque wrench to torque them down, I always recommend a little bit of Loctite just as an extra precaution. And here are the before and after shots. I was actually super impressed with how the carpets turned out. All of the stains got removed from the front and back. And the only spot that didn't was where the driver foot kind of sits on the carpet from the pedal and the gas pedal. And it just kind of wore it away to the point where I couldn't really save it much more. But every other stain came out. The dashboard came completely clean. All that dust and cigarette ash and everything came out of it. And all of the seats were completely taken, all the stains out as well. So I think this was probably one of those simpler details. It wasn't over the top, but there was a lot of Mountain Dew and cigarette ash everywhere that completely got removed from the car, and it turned out amazing. So like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe and turn on notifications. It really helps my channel out, and it makes sure that you guys get to see all of the new content that I produce for you. So if you guys are new, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.